All right, guys, we are live. It is
Okay.
Friday, the 8th of December, and I got a great show for. I'm sorry, the 6th of December, and I got a great show for you. We have the press secretary. She's going to be coming out sometime within the next, I don't know, hour, to go ahead and give us an update on everything that's been going wrong with the country, I guess. You see, the president pardoned his crackhead criminal son, who is a foreign agent and has been working as an intermediate with our enemies in order to influence American policy. Yeah, he pardoned his crackhead son and then left the country and then flew to Africa, which in turn, it didn't look good for him. Yeah, so we have a great show for you guys today. Crypto is gone through the roof. Seemingly has gone through the roof, but let me tell you, there's a lot more to go. We have Daniel Penny trial. A lot of fucked up shit is happening with that. We're gonna have a little look at that. A group is putting up flyers all over inside of the subways saying horrible things about Penny. Let's see here. Obama. You know, sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut and let everyone think you're a fool than open it and remove any doubt. Now, let's see what else we got. What's next? Oh my God. Women are doing stupid shit again. Let's see. Republicans, yeah, we're going to hear about how they may never lose the Senate again for like 20 years or more. Who knows, right? Let's see. Trump's tariffs, we're going to look at those. Okay. We're going to also look at Trump's cabinet picks. We're going to have a discussion about those, see what we like, what we don't like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What else we got to go talk about? More Hunter Biden bullshit. Wars in the Middle East. It looks like ISIS is back. We're going to look at that. Look at Pete Hegseth a little bit. Famous Japanese singer died. That's kind of shitty. We're looking at how Trump is already bending the world to his will a little bit. We just got a lot to look at, guys. A lot to look at. We might even take a look at what Melania Trump is thinking about the transition. Now, what's going on? I'm glad you guys made it. It's me, SpaysE McG, your favorite cartoon nerd with the news. I got a little bit of pizza burn on the roof of my mouth.
The current president could ask her.
I might be talking funny.
Political capital it could happen. Maybe it won't.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just got a burn on the top of my mouth.
The current president could ask her to do that.
That hurts.
Whatever political capital he's got left, it could happen.
Yeah, who do we got here in the crowd?
But to your point in the intro there about these
we
progressive
got
Democrats,
Heathen. What's going on, brother?
Saying kind of nice things about Donald Trump.
We are so back,
just
indeed,
them.
brother.
There are also some billionaire businessmen who seem to think that Donald Trump can help them with their bottom lines and with some of their tricky government contracts, including Jeff Bezos.
We got Bobby. Whoa, Space is back. Hey, whoa, Bobby's back. Michael King, what's up, buddy? Pardoned for last 11 years. I know. For unnamed crimes. We got Pata. We got Hillbilly Homesteader. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, I'm glad you made it.
And there's some more props for Trump.
So where
from
should
Bernie
we
Sanders
start?
in Business Insider. This is the quote. Many of the things he did during the campaign were really ugly. On the other hand, he's a very smart guy. Sanders went on to say he's absolutely
we got Peter Ducey doing something here in the press room. Let's kind of go and see what's going on there.
Fetterman, who sees Trump and Hunter Biden is not all that different.
What is Peter Ducey doing? So this is a different stream than we normally use. This is the AP stream. I was checking it out to see.
And the current president may have set the tone for some of this. He was one of the first big Democrats
to see if it's any better.
To drop all of the threat to democracy talk.
It looks like Peter Ducey is giving some kind of report there live from the press room. I don't know. Yeah, he can't plead the fifth, right? You're right. But he can outright lie, and that's exactly what he will do, right?
Thanks.
That's exactly what he will do. There's always Your Honor, I'm a crackhead, and the drugs have destroyed my brain defense, right? Democrats are stupid for lots of reasons, guys, and pardoning Hunter Biden is the least of them. That is the least of the reasons why the Democrats are stupid, right? All right. Let's see here. Daniel Penny, right? So what's going on with this? You guys remember. This guy, some crazy guy was on the bus, Jordan Neely. He was threatening people, was causing a scene. He wouldn't calm down. Multiple people restrained him. Daniel Penny was not the only one. But Daniel Penny was the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy, right? So, of course, the only reason he did anything on that day was racist white supremacy, of course, guys. Now, hey, what's up, blind dude? Now, so what happened was he put the guy down, choked him to death, not on purpose, but because the guy wouldn't cooperate and the guy would not stand down. So I had to take him down. And unfortunately, the drug addict, schizophrenic, died, right? He wouldn't cooperate. He wouldn't stand down. He struggled. Dude tried to put him to sleep. But he put her. The guy never woke up. All right. Now, so a note saying they were unable to reach a unanimous vote on the second-degree man, which means that that he's not going to go for the worst charge. Still get negligent homicide? I don't know. I don't think that American people aren't gonna find somebody guilty of self-defense, right? And that's what this guy was doing. You may say, oh well, he wasn't in danger. He was protecting the other passengers. Well, there's a clause that is part of self-defense, is your life or the life of others. So you can kill somebody in self-defense for your life or other people's around you, right? And there's a reason for that. That's because good people have that instinct to stop bad people, right? And it's a net benefit to society when they do that, right? So what's going on here, I think we'll leave it with this guy being acquitted. Maybe not of all charges, but he's not going to get any kind of murder or manslaughter or homicide or anything like that. It may be, something very, very, very minor that he gets charged with, right? Oh, no. Oh, no. What's going on? Oh, it's not running very well, huh? I see that. Hold on. Hold on. See if I can fix it. Is that better? Okay, I think I got it all stabilized. My bad, guys. Is everything better? All right. Yeah. So there we go. All right. Now, yeah. So I don't think that he's going to be found guilty. Here we go. Criminally negligent homicide and manslaughter. So yeah, so it looks like he's not going to get charged on the manslaughter. So the next one is criminally negligent homicide, and I don't think he's going to get charged with that either, right? The jurors also asked for part of the judge's instructions as well as the legal definitions of recklessness and negligence to be read to them. So it sounds like they also are having problems with the second charge already, right? Let's see here. Now, let's see. Moving on. In New York City on the subways, right? Some group has gone around putting up all these posters. A man was lynched here in order to try to cause outrage because everyone can see where this is going, right? Everyone can see where this is going. That this man is about to be acquitted, and then in order to satisfy their fucking fucked up ideology, they're trying to incite violence across New York City now, right? And that's exactly what's happening here, is that these guys are trying to get people upset so that they can start fucking rioting and stealing sneakers again, right? Because in the end, that's what it's all about, is stealing the sneakers. Because, I mean, that's just what they do. They just like to steal shit. I don't know why. It's the next Floyd? I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, so they put up these posters all over the subways trying to influence the city, right? Because they know what's about to happen. New York must ensure its public spaces are free from the racist state violence and racist interpersonal violence that shapes so much of life for black and brown people in the city. This is crazy, right? Because I feel like the only person saying racist things or acting violent towards people because of their race was the guy that wound up dead, right? Was the bad guy, right? These people are out here trying to defend criminals and prosecute heroes, right? And that's what they do. That's what they do. They prosecute heroes and defend criminals at the price of heroes, right? And destroy the lives of good people who try to stop the violence, right? And the only reason that this guy is in jail is because he looks like that. And that's what it's really about, right? New York has been taken over by a bunch of racist identitarians, right, who believe that this country is too white, and too right. Right? Too straight, too white, and too right. And they want to punish us. Right? Just for being that. Nikes equal justice. All right. Now, let's see here. Let's drop in on these fools real quick. Okay. Still no sign of the press secretary. We probably have plenty of time. Let's just keep going with the news. All right. Now, you know, sometimes it's better to just keep your mouth shut and let everyone think you're an idiot. Here we go.
What happens when the other side has repeatedly and abundantly made clear they are not interested in playing by the rules?
Then we have a landslide election for Donald Trump. Oh, wait. You mean that Trump won't play by the rules. Okay.
It's a problem. And when that happens, we fight for what we believe in.
Isn't that exactly what we did, and that's why you guys are out of power?
There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power.
Oh, you mean like demographics are destiny. Let's import the third world so that we never lose control of power. Oh, wait. You mean like universal mail-in voting, right? So that we can ballot harvest fucking nursing homes and mental institutions in order to win the vote. Oh, no. You mean things like voter ID. Oh, you mean things like stricter immigration policies, right? No, wait. Now they're going to come out for immigration, guys. We're only a few years away from the Democrats being against illegal immigration, and here's why. As we import, see, Hispanics are not amenable to socialism, right? They don't like abortion, right? They don't like all this gay shit, right? They don't like all these trannies, right? They don't like taxes, right? They're small business owners, right? Like once Hispanic Americans become acclimated to American society, they are, as I predicted, overwhelmingly going to become conservative, right? And that destroys the Democrats' whole plan for demographics is destiny, right? Obama, the closet homo. Oh. Yeah, I remember that too, Michael. That was awesome. Those times, that was so much fun. We're going to have a lot more fun once Trump comes in, guys. These press conferences are going to be hilarious.
Either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents.
Oh, you mean like you guys have done for like the last 4 years? Oh, yeah. So what you're worried is that the Republicans will do what you guys have done, right? Because during your whole 8 years in office, you used the IRS, the Department of Justice, fucking the EPA against your political enemies, right? You guys used environmentalism as a way to go after oil companies in order to stop political donations to Republicans, right? I mean, if anybody knows anything about politicizing the military, politicizing the judicial system, weaponizing the Department of Justice, weaponizing the government bureaucracy against your enemies, that would be you guys, right? And so it's amazing how much self-awareness these people lack when they're out here pointing their finger at us, accusing us of the things that they've been doing. How dare you guys do what we do?
And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
Yeah. So by your own definition, it's time to fight back, right? It's time to fight you back. So anything that Trump does is justified in his fight against the weaponization of the government, the fucking politicization of the military, the fucking politicization of the judicial system, right? So anything that Trump does that fights back against that, right, is justified. According to you, Barry, according to you.
And speak out and organize and mobilize as forcefully as we can. But even in those circumstances, it's important to look for allies in unlikely places.
Hey, what's up, girl?
And too often we assume that people on the other side have monolithic views, when in reality some of them may share our beliefs in sticking to the rules, observing norms. And that's why, when it's appropriate, there is nothing wrong with reinforcing and lifting up elected officials or voters.
Yeah, when they say reinforcing and lifting up. Oh, here we go. Let's go.
I wonder why. Okay. On Tuesday, the president will deliver a speech in D.C. on his economic record and legacy, including his transformative investments in America.
Does that microphone sound hot to you guys? It sounds hot to me.
Rebalancing the scales.
It's not me. I have it perfectly balanced.
In favor of workers, lowering costs for everyday necessities, and creating a small business boom. Just today, we learned more than 220,000 jobs were created last month, making this the only presidency in 50 years to have job growth every single month. Over the last 4 years, the president has rejected trickle-down economics and written a new economic playbook that builds the economy from the middle out and bottom.
Not only has the president rejected trickle-down economics, he's rejected every other form of economic fucking practices that have ever been conceived in order to achieve something he calls Bidenomics, which is literally a spend and tax idea, right? It's literally the bad ideas from like Democrats in the 1960s.
From up, not the top down. This is a strong foundation for years to come. As many of you have reported, including the Associated Press, Trump will inherit an economy primed for growth. And with that, Associated Press, you have the first question.
Thanks, Karine. Is the president considering blanket pardons for either individuals or groups of people who are fearful of potentially being targeted by the incoming Trump administration?
Why should we trust anything that she even says on this? This woman has lied to us for over a year about the president's plans to pardon his son, right? So why should we now trust anything that she's about to say? Answer, we shouldn't.
So look, I'm not going to
Little
get
Red
ahead
Riding Hood.
of the president, but what I can say is that the president is reviewing other parties and computations, and I do want to lay out a little bit of the history. The history the president has taken over the last almost 4 years, actions that he's taken, because it's important to note that the president has so far issued 20 individual pardons and 122 commutations. He's issued more sentence commutations at this point in his presidency than any of his recent predecessors at the same point in their first terms. This is in addition to ground.
Most presidents don't do pardons on their first terms because most presidents get 2 terms. So that's comparing apples and oranges.
Breaking categorical pardons that the president issued to address marijuana possession, convictions, military convictions in the LGBTQ plus community. And as recently as April, if you go back a couple of months, the president issued 11 pardons, 5 commutations.
She's
for
supposed to answer
convicted
questions,
of
not tell stories.
offenses who demonstrated a commitment to rehabilitation.
Good one,
so
blind
there
dude.
certainly will be more to say, just more broadly speaking. And as you know, commutations and pardons are usually done when it's the president's final term historically around the holidays, and so certainly there'll be more to come. Anything outside of that, I would say that I'm not going to get into deliberations.
Yeah, if the president doesn't do pardons normally till the holidays, why such a rush on this Hunter Biden pardon? Oh wait, that's because he has court next week, and so he wanted to pardon him before he was found guilty. That way, it wouldn't be on his record. Oh. What a nice dad. And yeah, I would have done it too, right? If it was my son, I would have pardoned him too, right? I think we all agree. Hey, what's up, Steve?
Private deliberations, and I'm just not going to get ahead of the president.
Are preemptive pardons on the table as our president goes through?
I'm just not going to. I'm not going to get ahead of the president.
Yeah, preemptive pardons, like for Fauci, for Peter Daszak, right? For all the people that did the corona fucking virus, right? For all the people that stole the 2020 election, right? For all the people that illegally used their power to bring false charges against Donald Trump. People like Letitia James, right? People like Fonnie Willis, right? People like Alvin Bragg, right? They all need to see justice. People like Mark Milley, General Milley, right? The guy in charge now, Lloyd Austin, right? These people need to face charges. Some of them need to meet justice.
President is looking at, reviewing next steps, and there will be more to come. I'm just not going to get ahead of the president. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals from here.
And then a different part of the question. In your first briefing here,
commutation,
as press secretary, you committed to speaking to the American people, and I quote, in a transparent way, in a truthful way, and an honest way.
Yes.
And then in July, here at this podium, you were asked about the president pardoning his son, and he said, it's a no, it will be a no, it's a no.
Yes.
It's a no, except it's not a no.
That is exactly right.
Of the president's son and that pardon, it became a yes. I'm wondering if you would like to explain to us, the American people, really why the information that you provided turned out not to be true.
And I answered this question on Monday. We spent about 30 minutes on this.
Oh, I love it when she's caught. She looks so cute when she's trying to wiggle out from underneath her own word salad. Oh, look at how cute she looks. Oh, when she's caught like a little deer caught in the headlights. Oh.
Almost 30 minutes, roughly 30 minutes on this particular issue, and I'm just going to reiterate what I said on Air Force One to your colleagues when I did the gaggle. And look, if you look at his statement, it's pretty comprehensive. The statement that he put out on Sunday when he made this decision to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, it's in his own voice. I think it takes you through his thinking, and he did. He wrestled with this.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you guys read that shit? right? I always promise to tell the American people the truth. And that's why I pardoned my son. Because he was being persecuted by my Department of Justice.
With this. And again, he said in his statement, in his own voice, that he made that decision this past weekend. And the fact is, when you think about how the president got to this decision, circumstances have changed. They have. And a couple of things, and I said this on Monday as well. Republicans said they weren't going to let up, weren't going to stop. Recently announced Trump.
Yeah, because he was guilty. They weren't going to stop because he was a criminal.
Appointees for law enforcement have said on the campaign that they were out for retribution, and I think we should believe their words, right? We should believe what they say. The sentencing was coming up, as you all know. There was a sentencing coming up, and the president said this in his statement, that Hunter and his family had been through enough. Enough is enough. And he wrestled with these circumstances, these changing circumstances ultimately. And the combination of the president changing his mind and issuing, certainly led to the president changing his mind and issuing this pardon. And one thing that I do want to point to, which I think is important, is what Congressman James Clyburn said when he was interviewed. He said, "I am absolutely okay with it. I don't know how many people urge him to do so, but I did." He seemed to be reticent about it. This is what Clyburn said when he spoke to the president 2 weeks ago. But I emphasized, continuing his quote, emphasized the fact that we as fathers have obligations to our children. So that was a conversation that the congressman himself had with the president 2 weeks.
Hey, you guys, does anybody want to buy a painting made out of my own feces? I would love to be as big of an artist as Hunter Biden. I'm just going to shit on a piece of paper, guys. Who wants to buy it for $300,000?
2 weeks ago said that the president was reticent when he encouraged the president to do so. And this weekend,
as much as I hate her, I wouldn't look away if I saw her in a porno.
It was not an easy decision.
Me neither.
To come.
Matter of fact, I would click on it. I would purposely click on that porno.
And he put out a comprehensive statement, and I would certainly, offer that up.
I frequent the ebony section.
I would say, please read the president's response to this in full.
I'm sure my colleagues have a few thoughts, just very specifically.
It's not only colleagues who watch this. There's also the American people.
Exactly.
So to be fair,
and they were told by you in July that this would not happen, and it did. I'm saying, asking for yourself.
My own art shit. It is.
Do you feel like you owe an apology?
Duh.
Do you owe an apology to the American people?
See,
They're fucking nailing her. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit here, guys. They are fucking murdering her. Let's go.
Presidency, but for yourself, do you feel like you are owed an apology by the president? Do you owe an apology to the American people?
See, I just laid out the president's thinking. The president laid it out himself in his own words. He did. He laid out how he wrestled with this decision. He said in his statement, as a president, as a father, he talked about how difficult it was to make this decision. He thought about it this weekend. He did. He thought about it this weekend. He wrestled with it. And there are...
Look, she can barely keep a straight face. She can barely keep a straight face.
Some, factors, some real factors that he took into consideration. And that's why I keep saying folks should just take a look. Take a look. Read his statement. And I know what I said. I know what the president said. That is where we were at the time. That is where the president was at the time. I am his spokesperson. This weekend, he thought about it. He wrestled with it. And
he wrestled with it.
That's what I can tell the American people.
Why should they have any confidence in anything else?
I think the American people understand, and I think they understand how difficult this decision would be. And I would actually add, and I think it's important to note here as you're asking me these questions, important questions to ask, that there was a poll, a U.S. Gov poll that came out that some of you all reported on it, and it said 64% of the American people agree with the pardon. 64% of the American people. So we get a sense of where the American people are on this. Obviously, it's one.
I don't know, Frank. They're not going to be able to undo that pardon. It's rock solid. The president has explicit power to pardon, so there's nothing we can do. Hunter walks.
Poll, but it gives you a little bit of insight. 64% is nothing to sneeze at. But again, the president talked about this, his own words. He said this weekend he wrestled with this. This weekend he thought about this, and he made this decision. And let's not forget, we can't also forget what some of the legal experts and former prosecutors have agreed on. Many across the country have virtually said no one would be criminally prosecuted with felony offenses with these facts, and they've all agreed. We've heard from many legal experts on this. You heard me quote the former Attorney General Eric Holder multiple times, I think about 8 times on Monday. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts. Had his name been Joe Smith, the resolution would have been fundamentally and more fairly a declination, pardon warranted. And we've heard from many legal experts and also obviously a former U.S. attorney. Okay.
All of those things you laid out were known.
They're not going to let her off. Here we go. Round 2.
Yep. And many Americans, in reflecting the 64%, certainly understand a father's point of view. But the president was declarative. You were declarative. You didn't give room for, depending on the outcome of the election or depending on the rhetoric coming from the potential next administration, the certainty with which the president and you portrayed the no pardon is part of where the question comes from. Because all the facts that you have outlined were well known in advance.
Yep.
And I would add, there has been some circumstances that have changed this, right? Republicans not letting up, saying they won't stop. They're going to continue to do this. I mentioned the recent
no, I don't think anyone supports
legal,
it. Well,
enforcement position.
It depends on how you ask the question, right? Like, if the question is, if it were your son given the opportunity, would you pardon your son? Then I think that then yes, the majority of Americans would say yes, right? Right? If the question were like, is it a father's duty to defend his son even when he's wrong? I think that 60% would say yes, right? So it depends on how the question, on how the question was asked, guys. It depends on how the question was asked. All right, let's go.
Right, that said during the campaign they would have they were out for retribution, and so no reason to not take them for the word. I pointed at there was a sentencing coming up, as you all know.
That was well known.
I said there are multiple factors here. Not one thing led to this. Multiple factors, and I think if you look at all of these, it's a combination of reasons why the president wrestled with this over the weekend and made this decision.
Now that you've had time, and the president has had time to absorb how the public has responded to this, to think on it further, does he have any concerns about the fact that he had been so declarative and then granted this pardon? It's clearly
no, it's not just for his known convictions. It's for any crime that he did or may have committed, right? So, unnamed crimes. Unknown, unnamed, can't even look at them. Over.
Father, how he would do that. But does he have concern about his credibility or the impact it might have on future pardons?
So, and I will also say, just to bring up Clyburn again, because I think it's important, right? Because you were asking me what we said over the summer. Clyburn spoke to the president 2 weeks ago, and the president, he said, this is Clyburn's words, the president was reticent when he tried to encourage him to pardon Hunter Biden, and I think that is his son, obviously, and I think that's important to note. Look, I would refer you back to the last couple of sentences in the president's statement, and I think it's important here, where he talked about wrestling this and wanting to understanding that the American people are fair-minded, and talked about the importance of doing this and thinking about this over the weekend and coming to this decision and how he wrestled with it. And that was, I think, a message directly to the American people. The whole comprehensive statement was something that he wanted to share with the American people. But I think the way he ended his statement actually acknowledges and wanted to be very clear to the American people his own personal thinking about this, and understanding that they would look at this, and he believed they would be fair-minded about it. And this was not easy for the president. It wasn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't absolve Joe Biden of the crimes committed, right? If you can somehow prove Joe Biden did something, then they can force Hunter to testify. But then he can be all like, oh, I smoked so much crack, my brain don't work. So,
Because you all mentioned the statements that we have made over the summer. So obviously this wasn't easy to come to this decision.
He could have reserved the right to consider it later. And when he's that declarative as the President of the United States, that's where it carries
Take
weight.
a shot every time she says he wrestled with it. I can't drink that much.
Right? You have covered him. When he's asked a question directly, he answers it directly.
So
Bullshit. When he's asked a question directly, he answers it directly. You can't make this up. All right.
where we are. So does he regret that he had misled the public about what would eventually happen?
Look, what I will say is he laid out his thought process. He talked about the underlying facts of the case. He thought it was very important. That was part of the first paragraph.
No, he didn't. He said that it was all a witch hunt against his innocent, beautiful son, right? If he talked about the facts of the case, he'd be like, my son did some fucked up shit, but I'm his father and I love him, and therefore I pardon him, right?
Half of his statement, wanting to explain and talking about the gun charges, right? Talking about the tax cases and wanting to make sure that...
Yeah, nobody would charge him for tax crimes if his name wasn't... It's not like they put other people in prison for 10 years for owing the government $1 million in taxes, right? Yeah, right? Nobody else would go to prison for $1 million in taxes.
They understood, like, these types of things would not be a normal reason to prosecute, right? Virtually no one would be criminally prosecuted with felony offenses with these facts.
Nobody would be prosecuted for $1 million in taxes.
Whether it's absent aggravated factors, similar charges are rarely brought. When you think about gun charges, the tax cases, such as Hunter's, when taxes are repaid with penalties, are rarely criminally charged. They are handled civilly, and these are the things that the legal experts also agreed with him on. And so he wanted to lay that out for the American people as well. And I, don't have anything else beyond what the president laid out his thinking in his written statement, in his words. I just don't have anything beyond that. Okay.
The president has also faced real swift criticism from members of his own party around this part. The Democrats have called it a setback, a mistake, said that they're worried Republicans will use this against Democrats in the future. Has the president felt the need to respond directly to any of his Democratic colleagues around their criticism of this move?
So look, what the president is going to focus on, and you've heard us say this, is running through the tape. He's going to focus on the American people. He's going to continue to deliver historic progress every day. That's going to be his focus. And if you think about his legacy more broadly, it includes getting us out of COVID. It includes bringing the economy back. It includes beating Big Pharma. It includes making sure that we had an infrastructure investment that we're able to do in a bipartisan way. We're talking about not just actions that the president has taken that people are going to feel today, but for generations to come. And so that's going to be his focus. I think folks in his party are going to have a lot of thoughts on this, obviously.
No, Joe Biden is going to be focused on stealing everything that's not nailed down. Like, he's going to take the silverware. He's going to take the fucking drapes. Like, this motherfucker is going to take the fucking the little soaps that they put in the dishes, like in the bathroom, right? That's what he's focused on.
There have been, we've heard quotes and support from many elected officials. I just mentioned Jim Clyburn. There was Senator Dick Durbin. He said it's a right given to the president, a power given to him under the Constitution, and Joe
when
Biden
she starts
is
with
using it
so
in
look,
a very humane way.
You know it's going to be
Hunter
deep.
Biden has been exploited for political purposes. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time in American history, but I can certainly understand Joe Biden standing up and saying that he wants to protect his son. Nancy Pelosi, when she was asked about this particular issue, she said, "I support the president." Representative Jasmine Crockett, I think that it was the right move. And there's been others who have, in the Democratic Party, part of the leadership, and others who have supported this president and his decision.
Just though,
Yep.
when the president is saying that he believed it was a political prosecution, does it make it easier for incoming Trump to also say that he's pardoning January 6 rioters because he believes that those are political?
Look, I'm not going
Yes,
to get into...
and he will. And he will. Not just January 6th. Steve Bannon. Roger Stone. The list goes on and 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 on. All the people, all the co-conspirators in the RICO case, right? I think that Jared Kushner and fucking Don Jr. and Eric and fucking Tiffany and all of them are going to need some reaching pardons all the way back until they were little kids for any crime that they may have ever committed, right?
To what the incoming administration is going to do or not do. That's not something that I'm going to speak to. I've been pretty consistent about that since the election. We've been very clear about where we stand on January 6th. And so not going to get into that. But I think, and you all, some of you have reported this, Republicans have been his political opponents in Congress have been very clear about this. The president talks about this again in his own statement about how they took credit for bringing political pressure on the process when it came to Hunter Biden's plea deal. And so they took credit for that when it fell apart. They took credit for that. And they have said they're not going to stop.
Yeah, they're not going to stop because he's guilty. The whole family's guilty. And you know what? I expect that Haley Biden, fucking Frank, James, all of them are going to get pardons, right? Because they're all guilty of this too. Remember, guys, they were laundering the bribe money through their bank accounts, right?
And so again, I'm not going to point to one particular reason for the president making this decision. There's been changing factors that led him to where he...
Her name was Ashley Babbitt, remember?
And I just look at where Zeke started. About
That's the only person that died on J6.
You really didn't rule that out. You confirmed that the White House
was a Navy veteran. A war hero.
I'm not confirming anything. I'm just saying I'm not going to get ahead of the president on this issue. There's a process. I'm
Are
not
you ruling out the idea?
What I'm saying is I'm not getting ahead of the president. I'm not. He's going to make announcements on pardons and commutations. That is something every president, historically, presidents do, especially at the end of their term. And so that normally happens around the holiday. So you could expect the president making a decision. What I can talk to and speak to is this particular pardon a couple of days ago of his son and what he's been able to do. I laid out some historic actions that the president has taken. When it comes to
everything's always historic. The only thing historic about this president is the historic lack of competence, the historic failures, the historic inflation, the historic loss of power across the globe.
last 4 years, as recently as this past April. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals here. I'm not going to get into the president's thinking.
Have people come and asked the president for a preemptive pardon because they're worried about potential prosecution?
So what I can say is we have seen from advocates, right, who have been very public in lobbying the administration.
Frank says if a legal act is performed in the furtherance of a crime, then the legal act is void. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We have to also remember that the power of the president to pardon is absolute. Except for he can't pardon himself to avoid an impeachment, right? So he can't, like, if he's being impeached, he can't pardon himself, right? To avoid impeachment. That's literally the only thing it says. I looked it up.
For pardons and clemency, commutations, we've heard from them. You all have seen it. So obviously we've heard them. I'm just not going to get into specifics of what we're going to do, not do. I'm not going to get ahead of the president. And I think you can understand that process that we're going to keep going. Go ahead, Tam.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned that there is a process. I would love if you could spell out exactly how that process is working. Is it in conjunction with the Justice Department, who in the White House is handling it? And then you could answer whether the Hunter one was inside or outside of that process, but let's start with the process.
Well, no, I actually answered that question on Monday. The president made the decision on the pardon for Hunter Biden. The White House reached out to the Department of Justice because that has to be filed with the Department of Justice. It was the president's decision. There was no consultation with the Department of Justice. As you know, the president has the right to do this. So that was obviously a very separate process. As it relates to more
Trump was the one that was.
There's
nothing fascist. There's nothing fascist about the president pardoning whoever the fuck he wants, for whatever reason he wants. Whatever, whoever, whenever. Guys, it's the way the country was built.
That process, obviously, the Department of Justice is involved in that. There's a review process, and so that's how we're going to move forward on making those types of decisions.
And who at the White House is leading it up? Is it the counsel's office or is it chief of staff?
Well, look, obviously the White House counsel will.
I got a gallon of moonshine that says they get RICO'd.
I just don't have anything beyond that.
I hope so.
President Trump is going to be in France this weekend for the reopening of the Notre Dame, also meeting with President Macron. How does this White House view President Trump's meetings with foreign leaders happening while you're still here?
I mean, look, it's not unusual. As you've heard us say before, you've heard the National Security Council say as well. I think Jake Sullivan, when he was asked this question, the President's National Security Advisor,
absolutely, Lucy.
Comment. It's not unusual for when there's a president-elect for heads of states, foreign leaders to want to have that conversation with the president-elect. So I'll just leave that there. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Karine. Just follow up and tell us what.
It's my understanding that the power of presidential pardon, that's a tongue twister, was designed around the monarchical power of pardon. That was a tradition at the time. And, I don't know. I think it was kind of a way to play, say the president is, has the same kind of powers that a king has or whatever. I don't know. But it was the customs of the time.
Question: why isn't the President of the United States going to go to the reopening of the Notre Dame de Paris? Why not?
So just as you know, the First Lady is attending, and she's attending as part of her larger travel swing to Italy, UAE, and Qatar. So she will be representing the administration. They were both invited to be there for the reopening of the Notre Dame. The president had a scheduling conflict, which is why he was not able to attend. Any specifics?
Hey, what's up, Michelle?
trip and what that's going to look like, I certainly would refer you to the First Lady's office.
The president was invited.
Yeah, he was. There was scheduling conflict, which is why he decided not to attend. But the First Lady is there, and he's very proud that she's there representing us. And anything further on her visit, certainly I would refer you to their office.
I have a question. Thank you, Karine. I also have a question on the Canadian Foreign Minister today launched the new Canada's new Arctic foreign policy, face Russia, China. 4 years later, and with a successor who seems to be skeptical, how does the president sees Canada's involvement in mutual defense and international crisis?
Yes, exactly, girl.
The president
he absolutely could, but not if that gets him impeached, right? Whoa, sorry. That happened under Nixon, right? And that's why Roger Stone went to jail or something. I can't remember. But yeah. Yeah, so if it winds up getting him impeached, then those people rot away in prison. So, because then once he's impeached, he doesn't have the power of pardon anymore. Oh, whoops. Okay, here we are.
values our strong partnership with Canada and their leadership.
Barron is going to go wild.
On addressing major challenges of our time, such as combating climate change. As you know, the president has taken that issue very seriously by putting forth one of the most historic piece of legislation that really deals with climate change in a way that we have not seen any other administration deal with it. Canada's contribution, as you all know, to Ukraine's defense and multilateral security support mission in Haiti have been consequential, and so we value the Canadians' cooperation in securing the Arctic region.
Canada.
That is peaceful, stable, and prosperous. And
did y'all hear Trump was like, yo, Canada should be the 51st state? I agree. But Mexico should be the 51st state. Canada should be like the 52nd. Mexico first.
And so, again, we value that strong partnership, and I think they have shown leadership. Many things that they have certainly partnered with us in the past 4 years. Okay.
Thank you, Karine. On Syria.
Hey, what's up, Alaskan?
You know, armed groups are closing rapidly on many Syrian cities and against the Assad regime. How does the White House...
We're back or something. I don't know. Everything got shitty and then it fixed itself or something. I don't know. Here we go.
And minority groups and in a serious and credible political process that can end this civil war once and for all with a political settlement consistent with UNSCR 2254. And so we're going to continue to obviously defend and protect U.S. personnel and U.S. military. That is the president that has been always very clear about that. And so
we're talking about Syria, guys.
U.S. personnel and U.S. military, they remain essential to ensuring that ISIS can never again resurge in Syria. But more broadly, to answer your question, we're going to closely monitor the situation in Syria.
Statement, I mean, developments are happening so fast. The cities after cities are falling. So maybe by the weekend we're talking about maybe the Assad regime is not going to be there anymore.
Well, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals of what's going to happen in the next couple of days or how it's going to play out. What we are doing, we're monitoring the situation. We're taking this very seriously. You saw the statement from the National Security Council just this past weekend. We're going to continue to stay in contact with countries in the region. And so that's what I can say that we're going to do. Continue to be in touch, continue to monitor. I don't
They don't know what they're going to do. They're too busy trying to steal everything.
As you know, the Russians have been supportive of the Assad
pardon
regime since the beginning. But today they said they're going to play a limited role in inverted commas. Is this a welcoming kind of statement from the White House that the Russians saying they're not supporting the regime the way they did in the past?
Look, I'm not going to get into what the Russians are doing or not doing. What we're going to do is monitor this really closely. We're going to continue to talk with the countries in the region. And remember, as I just stated, we have U.S. personnel on the ground. We have U.S. military. It is important to the president that we continue to make sure that they're safe. Their safety is considered here. I'm just not going to get into what the Russians have said and what they're going to do and not do.
Thanks, Karine. Zeke asked this question, I just didn't hear an answer. The next time that the president says he will or won't do something, why should the American people believe him?
I answered that question. I don't have anything else to add. I answered the question.
Can you explain it in a way that's understandable?
I can't.
We're back. Okay. Yeah. They're asking her about the pardon again.
I did that on Monday for 30 minutes. I went back and forth. I laid out. I said, please read the president's really comprehensive statement on this. And I even said the last paragraph of that statement, he talks directly to the American people. And that's how I answered that question.
And just sputters a bunch of bullshit that doesn't make any sense.
By the president, you to say multiple times unequivocally that he would not pardon his son.
The president laid out in that statement what changed.
He lied, okay? God, that's what he does. He's Joe Biden. He's a liar. That's what he does.
I don't have anything else.
So that statement, he said in part, I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. Just to understand that sentence, I think it's important.
Yeah,
Is it that the president believes in the justice system except in some cases?
He believes in the justice system. He believes the facts are. Obviously, I talked about the gun charges, what legal experts have said. Former prosecutors have all agreed virtually no one would be criminally prosecuted for underlying factors of Hunter's case. I talked about the gun charges. I talked about the taxes, the tax cases. And there are other factors here, what Republicans have said.
She's crumbling already. No, she's already crumbling.
I talked about the upcoming sentencing and what Hunter and his family have been through. I talked about the appointees by.
I mean, you got to feel sorry for her, guys. Imagine having to come out here and having to defend Joe Biden every single day. Imagine trying to do that every day. Defend all of his lies. It can't be easy, is what I mean. It can't be an easy job to think of, like, what kind of crazy shit am I going to have to say in order to make this all make sense?
Positions. And he wrestled with it. He did. And I also talked about what Jim Clyburn said. So you're asking me about an apology, but Jim Clyburn said himself in a conversation that he had with the president just 2 weeks ago, the president said, the president was reticent when he encouraged the president, when he himself, Jim Clyburn, encouraged the president to move forward with it.
Who gives a shit about Jim Clyburn? You lied. You are a liar. You came out here and you lied to us, okay? You need to apologize.
Congressman Clyburn, the president, responded to him by saying he was reticent. And so this was not an easy decision. It wasn't. Congressman Clyburn, the president, responded to him by saying he was reticent. And so this was not an easy decision. It wasn't. It wasn't an easy decision. It was a lot of
look at her gear wheels turning. And she's trying.
And we can't pass over what legal experts and former U.S. attorneys have said on this. And across the country. They all basically agreed.
Hey, what's up, Holy?
No one would be criminally prosecuted with felony offenses with these facts. And I have gone through the.
Yeah, it's not the only thing exactly. They literally lie about everything. Exactly, Holy Harlot.
Facts of the cases. And, I just don't have anything beyond that to add or to say. I've laid out our thought process. The president has laid out his thought process. And we've talked about the case. We've talked about his thinking. And I just don't have anything beyond that.
president just got back from a multi-day trip to Angola, where he engaged the press.
Yeah, I don't know about MSNBC. Maybe she'll replace Joy Reid, and she can be the crazy race lady on MSNBC. But probably not. Probably not. She'll probably disappear. This is going to be the last time we ever hear or see of her. I mean, this might not be the very last time, but the last press conference that she gives is going to be like one of the last times that we ever see her again.
Literally one time.
She's done.
Quickly confirmed that he was getting briefed on the situation in Korea.
Yep.
His last foreign trip, it was 6 days in South America. As you know, he didn't engage reporters during that trip. After that last trip, he told us in this briefing room that he believes in the value of engaging the press. He enjoys it, you said. He will continue to engage reporters. There will be opportunities to talk to him. So why is it that he is avoiding reporters?
Look.
He's been president for 4 years and has given what? 5 press conferences? He's like answered questions like directly like 5 times maybe.
4 years bringing back the norms of engaging with all of you. We have respected that process. I hope you guys think that we've tried to do the best that we can to do that. And the president he really does enjoy having a back and forth. And when the president, and I do want to say, he did take a moment to have a back and forth with all of you when he was in Nantucket.
Sorry, guys.
With some of your colleagues who traveled with him.
Adjusting my mic.
He did take some questions there, so it's not like he hasn't taken questions at all. He did have he did do a gaggle when he was in Nantucket around the holiday and took some questions.
He answered like 2 questions, jokingly.
And look, he was really focused, and many of you who've asked me this question, he was focused on his last ACONUS. He had the G20, the last G20. He had APEC, which was all incredibly important. Wanted to focus on his engagement with leaders, heads of states. He did that. The trip to Africa, as you all know, was a promise that he wanted to keep, and it was a great trip with very substantive discussions, and we were able, again,
Karine Johnson. Yeah, I think that's her real name.
Leadership.
Yes.
And so I would say to all of you, you certainly will hear from him in the next 45 days.
Do you consider it upholding norms for the president to basically not engage the press in at least 2 back-to-back?
What I would say is upholding norms is what we have been able to do in the last 4 years, and I would encourage folks to look at the 4 years more broadly, and what the president has been able to do and what the president has engaged with all of you. And
remember when Ted Danson was banging Whoopi Goldberg? Ew! Ew!
I would say
brother, ew! Brother!
Nearly $7 billion in military aid that Congress had approved for Ukraine before the president leaves office.
Sam Malone and Whoopi Goldberg. Yes. Yes. Yes, it was in 1989, I believe. Yes.
Estimate that will still be left when the president leaves, and is the president concerned that the incoming administration is not going to get that out the door to Ukraine?
So, as you know, back in September 29th, we put out a statement. The president was very clear about wanting to surge resources into Ukraine and wanted to make sure that they had everything that they need as what was happening on the ground, the situation on the ground, circumstances on the ground was changing. And our commitment has been very steadfast. You have seen us since that.
Yeah, it was like a big deal.
To make announcements on assistance going towards Ukraine. I don't have a number for you or an estimation of how much money would be left or not left in the next, after we got 45 days, as I just mentioned.
Hold on, we gotta do it. Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, wait, okay. Danson and the Sister Act star began their controversial affair on the set of 1993's Made in America. While the co-stars kept their relationship secret at first, tabloids caused an uproar that ultimately ended his marriage to his second wife, Cassandra Casey Coates. And it cost him $30 million to bang Whoopi Goldberg. Ew! They put their love on public display in the months afterward. In fact, according to sources, Danson and Goldberg planned to marry once his divorce was finalized. I'd walk in Whoopi's shadow for the rest of my life. I adore the whoopin', Danson said. Ew! Ew! Yep. That's an expensive hooker. That's fucking gross. Yep, just remember.
Refer you to the Department of Defense to get that specific number, but we are committed to getting the money out the door. We are committed to make sure that Ukraine has the resources that it needs. As you know, we have led that.
Fuck Ukraine.
Has led, certain
Ukraine is done. Zelensky's ready to quit. He knows it's over. Everyone knows it's over. Bitch, you're just blowing hot air. It's done. It's over.
Lead that charge globally in making sure that Ukraine has the support, making sure 50 countries have gotten behind Ukraine, making sure
Sam is
NATO
bald.
alliance is stronger than it's ever been before. And I think you see that.
Ted Danson is bald. He wears a toupee.
And so we're going to continue to surge that.
With this acknowledgement that there will be funding left when he leaves, and given that this has been such a top priority for the administration and for this president, is he worried that when he leaves, that the incoming administration is going to leave this money on the table and not get it out?
And so, look, again, I'm trying to be really mindful not to get into hypotheticals or what the next administration is going to do or not do. We got to let that process move forward. What I will say and remind folks that we got that funding in a bipartisan effort, right? That's how we were able to get that funding to make sure the resources were getting into Ukraine. And so that was done in a bipartisan way. And we can't take Russia off the hook here, right? They are the aggressors here. They are the ones that went into a sovereign territory. And again, we say this all the time, this war can end today if Russia would stop their aggression. But again,
if Russia would stop their aggression. This war will end in a few days because Trump's going to end it. Period. Dot. Right? It's over. Trump literally went on the internet, told Hamas and Israel to bring out the hostages, or else there's going to be hell to pay. And today, they're working on a deal to release the hostages. Right? Trump's a badass.
Before the election, the Senate passed a bill that would have added...
Trump said, stop the fentanyl coming to America from Mexico, or it's going to be 100% tariff or something. And they literally made the biggest fentanyl bust in the history of fentanyl busts. Like yesterday.
An additional 60 judges to the judiciary. That bill is now going to the House, and there are some Democrats who are now not supportive of that bill because it would mean President-elect Trump.
Oh, thank you, Holy. We are funny.
Or Judge SpaysE bill. What's the administration's view on that bill? Would the president sign or veto it?
And so I need to talk to the president and Office of Legislative Affairs about this. I have not had that discussion about this particular bill. As you know, we have been pretty aggressive and steadfast in getting our nominated judges, qualified judges, through in the Senate process. And so we have been able to steadily do that over the past couple of weeks on this particular legislation. I just need to talk to the team. I don't want to get ahead of them.
Right. And one more on pardons.
Sure.
With having pardoned his son, some of the criticism that came from the left, including, I believe, Black Lives Matter, was that black
clowns aren't funny. Fuck you. I'm funny. I make you laugh, fucker.
Unfairly charged and imprisoned and don't have fathers who have the ability to pardon them. Does the fact that the president has pardoned his son, who was convicted by a jury and did plead guilty on the tax charges, put pressure on the president, or does he feel pressure to do an even greater...
Where's the white women at?
This time around for people who don't have that privilege?
So there's a process. The president's going to go through it. I'm not going to get ahead of him. But again, I do want to, I hope folks don't forget what the president has been able to do, the actions that he's been able to take over the last 4 years. I went through them just to touch on them a little bit. He's issued 20 individual pardons, 122 commutations. He's issued more sentence commutation at this point in his presidency than
we already heard all this.
System. Talking about the actions that the president has taken. I've
all right, we're done with her. We're done with her. There's better stuff I want to talk about anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't wait till the new press secretary, guys. It's going to be so funny. Right? Because the media is going to be so biased against her that it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious to hear, to hear the crazy shit that these people come up with. Gacy was a funny clown. Gacy was gross. That was not funny what he did. That was disgusting. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, real quick. Where do you guys see this? Oh, man. Women are tying their tubes because Trump won. Oh, it's real. It's real. The TDS is real. A new trend is sweeping the nation. Having not gotten their fix at the ballot box, young women on the left are getting fixed. As one anonymous woman from Washington recently told Newsweek, I feel like the election tied my hands and forced me to be sterilized. That'll show them. Citing fears about abortion bans and rollbacks of reproductive rights, young women are subjecting themselves to irreversible and invasive procedures to get their tubes tied. Eden, I don't know how to say that, spoke to Newsweek about getting her tubes tied, saying pregnancy during the Trump administration would be worse than death. Well, I mean, maybe you could stop being a whore. I don't know. But it's probably better for society that these women who can't, be forced to, use condoms or birth control or, God forbid, not bang every loser that she meets in the bar, right? Maybe it's better for the human gene pool that these people don't reproduce. We should all call doctor's offices and make appointments for people like this. I don't believe it. That girl is way too cute to be a Kamala Harris voter. Or perhaps it's clout. Nothing says ultra resistance like pledging fertility to the cause by sacrificing your fertility. Several women who spoke to Newsweek claimed they had no choice but to take this severe route. Birth control pills are available without prescription, by the way. One anonymous woman claimed she felt forced into surgery. Another from Florida said Trump's election was a call to action and described pregnancy as worse than death. You can't make this up, guys. These people, why not put an IUD or use a condom or get the birth control pill, which you can now buy over the counter, yes, even in Florida, without ever getting a doctor's prescription. Handy online services will also deliver them straight to your door. Yes, it is true. Access to abortion has become more difficult in certain areas of the country, but life-altering surgery is a harsh first resort. Did SpaysE cover the annexation of Canada? Just a little bit. Just how much I hope that it happens, and that I have one modification. Mexico should be the 51st state. Well, Israel should be the 51st state. Mexico the 52nd. Like Japan the 53rd. Then Canada. They should get one state for each hockey team. Fuck the rest. Yeah, no, we should make them all America. That's how we fix the problem. We make them all America. Then we don't have to worry about trade wars. Then we don't have to worry about them stealing our jobs. Let's see. Wasn't that part of the Fallout backstory? Yes. Yes, indeed. Something like that is part of Fallout, yes. You're very good. You're A. Frank, you're my guy. Frank knows his Fallout lore. Holy Harlot says, total conquest is the globalism I can get behind. I agree. That is the perfect quote. All right, now I have one more thing I want to look at, guys. Trump's cabinet picks. All right. Marco Rubio. Fucking, oh, God damn it. I can't, Mike Pompeo doesn't seem so bad now, huh? Now we got Marco Rubio. Oh, Pompeo doesn't seem such a bad idea now, huh? This guy will be okay. He's the CEO of Key Square Group, which is like a hedge fund, right? Probably will be fine. Pete Hegseth. Yes, guys. The B tier morning show host for the weekends on Fox. Right? He only hosts the weekend morning show. He's not even the regular morning show guy. He's the weekend guy. He's going to be running the Defense Department. It looks like he's going to get in, too, guys. I have on good authority that Pete Hegseth is in. Pam Bondi. I like her. She was the former AG from Florida. She's a good pick. Doug Burgum. I also like him. Good pick. Okay. I don't know who this chick is, but she's hot. She'll probably do good. You know, I think that we have a mixed bag here, right? But there's something for everybody in here, right? I don't know who a lot of these people are. Robert Kennedy for Health and Human Services, fucking amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not thrilled about Marco Rubio at all. That's one of his worst picks, in my opinion. Sean Duffy, another Fox News guy, as the Department of Transportation. I mean, it can't be any worse than Booty Judge. The NIH, who's that? I don't see it on here. I don't see NIH on here. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Tulsi? National Intelligence? She's going to be in the charge of the people that called her a Russian asset. Indian name. I don't see him on here yet. Maybe he just got announced. Let's find. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see this guy. Yeah, they don't have it here, but his press secretary is Caroline Levitt. She'll be pretty good. I think she was one of his attorneys, if I'm not mistaken. Kash Patel or Ramaswamy? No, none of them. Oh, Bhattacharya. Yes. Bhattacharya. Yes. Yeah, that was one of the doctors that was criticized about ivermectin, I believe. It may have been one of the other drugs. He came out for those drugs during COVID. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of these people are revenge picks, right? Hegseth for defense. Hegseth has an axe to grind with the Department of Defense, right? He wrote a book about how they woke the military, right? And I got to give it up for Politico, actually, for this website. This looks really nice, guys. It actually looks really nice. I like it how their heads pop out of the little bubbles. Look, see how their heads pop out of the bubbles? Like Pete, his cowboy hat sticks out the sides. That looks really good. That looks really good. Good job on that, guys. Yeah. Fucking Pam Bondi is the AG. Kennedy, HHS. He's got an axe to grind. Tulsi, as a Director of National Intelligence. She's got an axe to grind, right? Kelly Loeffler. Kelly Loeffler is a former senator, and her family owns the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, so Kelly's family owns the New York Stock Exchange. Just so you know that. She's going to be the Small Business Administration. Yeah, so John Ratcliffe. Oh my God. I do not like this guy. Like, he has the face of a man that chokes people to death for fun, right? Like, I have no doubt that John Ratcliffe has choked people to death with his bare hands. Yes, Loeffler is the reason that Republicans lost the Senate in 2020. Yeah, in 2020 too. Also, she lost her Senate seat in 2020 and failed to reclaim it in 2022. Yeah, I know. I know who he was. I didn't like him then, and I don't like him now. But, I mean, when it comes to the CIA, you got to have a piece of shit, right? But overall, while it's a mixed bag, I feel like he did a lot better this time than he did last time. And I think that we're going to see real meaningful change. Oh, man. I got a burn on the roof of my mouth from, like, pizza, from eating hot food. So I'm sorry for mumbling, guys. Yeah, well, that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to come back this weekend. We're going to have a look at all the news companies on election night and how they all, just how the arc happened. How it went from Kamala's going to win to this is the end of America. Yeah, cash will be awesome, guys. I think there's a chance that we're going to see a real shakeup. Hopefully it's not all centered around revenge, but if anybody had a right to do revenge, it's Donald Trump. So I expect some of that. I expect a lot of revenge, but I also hope to see real meaningful change, guys. Oh, yeah, there's absolutely going to be revenge. And Trump has a right to it. So I expect it. I just hope we get some good things, too. All right, well, that's going to be it, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Remember, we go live with all kinds of content, and you never know when that'll be. But it will be this, probably Sunday. And we're going to look at hilarious shit. It's going to be great. All right. See you guys around.